Hey there guys, welcome back to Texas Beer Reviews, and on this episode we will be looking at TrimTab's Rye Brown Ale. So TrimTab, of course, out of Alabama, is more specifically out of Birmingham, Alabama. It is 5.5% ABV, 42 IBUs, and 24 SRM, so just above moderate on the color scale, so of course it'll be a nice brown color. SRM generally ranging from 0 to 40. Anyway, not a lot of cans describe that, but you know, it's a good indicator if you want to know how dark your beer is, I guess. Anyway, so I've never had this from TrimTab. The only thing I think I've had is their Raspberry Blender Weiss, which is pretty nice. But kind of was looking at what I want to follow the last video up with. So I'm drinking a few cans here tonight as I hang out and watch TV before having to go to bed early. But Rye Brown Ale sounded a little bit different, a little bit interesting. You know, depending on where we go after this, might do another IPA. But yeah, anyway, so let's check it out. You know, had brown ales. I don't know if I've had a specifically designated rye brown ale. You know, I don't know what the percentage of malts is that they use in this. So might list online. Haven't looked anything up on it. But you know, I don't know if this is 100% rye malts or if this is a blend. I'm not really too familiar with rye stuff that much. But in any case, it has some percentage of rye. So let's check it out. The glass a little wet. Oh yeah, actually a little bit nice and dark. Dark brown. So of course, very dark brown, almost verging on black. A little bit darker than I had anticipated. But I mean, you know, I guess I always assume when you're getting closer to 40, you're like black. So I thought, a little bit browner. But no, it's actually pretty dark. It's got a very lightly tan head. But its head retention's holding up really well, of course. So this time of the year, these are the kind of beers that I really crave. I actually need to do a review too on another brown. Well, it's not a brown ale; it's a Dunkel lager that I like. But anyway, this time of year, these malty caramel brown ales I really enjoy. Finally, starting to feel like fall in Houston. It's been in the low 70s, mid 70s. Sometimes today it's pretty cloudy, kind of dreary looking, so I think it's settling out around it'll probably be in the high 60s or so a little bit later on. I think it's low 70s right now. Feels pretty nice outside. But it's fall for Houston, so it's cool. It's not, you know, 80, 90 degrees. So it's when I start really kind of craving these beers. So anyway, a little bit about that. Bit of ranting, so let's check out the aroma. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, a little bit on the nose there. Big rye character. I mean, this is just rye bread, really. You know, you go to the market, grocery store, pick up some rye bread. It's got that nice spiciness to it, you know. Getting some nice caramel malt, some cola-like flavors or aromas. Not quite on the flavor yet. Yeah, that rye character is nice and heavy. Probably one of the most prominent like rye characters that I've had on a beer, especially a rye beer. You know, you'll have beers aged in rye whiskey or stuff like that. You know, you kind of get some rye character on it. I have never really gotten like a huge rye character. It's not big enough for me to go, wow, I can, you know, and you can kind of tell the difference between rye and bourbon or whatever. Not even bourbon, just regular whiskey or whatever. A little bit, but this is really in your face. This isn't subtle. This isn't like, oh, okay, you know, maybe if I didn't really know, I wouldn't really think about it that much. This is definitely prevalent. Of course, it's not barrel aged, you know, I'm using rye malts. But anyway, Let's check out the taste. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. Very, very big rye character. Nice and spicy. You know, I thought this maybe be... can't talk. I thought this may have been a little sweeter, but it actually has a solid bitterness to it. You know, it's not too assertive or anything. But it's not sweet at all. Big rye character. A little bit of that caramel quality to it, but because it's not really sweet, it's interesting, you know? It's like a dry caramel type quality to it. Cola, some of that cola flavor you get out of brown ales, you know? Yeah, the rye character is huge. I mean, just straight rye bread, really. It's got that nice, spicy, earthy, you know, character to it. Carbonation solid, on point. You know, not too much, not too low. Mouthfeel is probably more medium. It's got a nice kind of a thickness to it. Fullness, rather. Nice fullness to it that is appropriate for this style of beer. It's nice. Very hearty. I think this would be great with quite a bit of food. Maybe not something so spicy as the bitterness from the either hops or the rye character. Probably a bit of both. Will kind of elevate that. I mean, unless you want more of a kind of a heat character to it. Or, I say that a lot. More of a heat, you know, component to your food. You want it to be spicy, a lot hotter, you know, of course. That'll kind of amp it up. But I think that this would be... I like this kind of beer for drinking while eating. You know, most foods, at least if it wasn't too, I guess, too spicy. You know, but this is good. This is really nice. I am going to go 3.75 out of 5. Maybe just a little higher than that. You know, maybe 3.8, 3.85. I actually think that if it had a little bit more sweetness, I might want to go towards 4. I do like that kind of sweetness out of brown ales, but you know, it's unique, it's different. It doesn't have that sweetness, so if you don't want anything too sweet, I'd recommend this. Of course, this is available here in Texas, but you know, I think that, to me, I've been drinking a lot of Mother Lager lately. From Karbach, and I know there's been this whole big thing about Karbach selling out to AB InBev. My personal opinion, I don't care that much. I mean, you know, if the beer is good, I'm gonna drink it. I understand where people are coming from on it, and maybe I'll get them downvotes on this talking about it, but like I said, if it tastes good, you know, everybody who's really into craft beer is still buying Bourbon County. And they sold out to AB InBev quite a few years back. So, I mean, it's not going to change the quality of beer. So, anyway, this reminds me of Mother Lager in a certain sense, but a little more dry, a little bit more bitter. You know, Mother Lager is a little bit sweeter, just slightly different, of course, lager yeast compared to the ale yeast. But it reminds me of that because I've been drinking a lot of it lately. Anyway, this is pretty solid, really tasty. I'm going to enjoy drinking the rest of this. Nice and hearty Rye Brown Ale, and probably the most interesting rye character, the most prominent rye character I've had out of any beer, either aged in rye barrels or with rye. So I like that a lot. Very unique, very interesting, cool stuff. So thank you, Jake. And that's pretty much it for TrimTab's Rye Brown. So, yeah, gravitational nectar on the bottom there. Awesome. Anyway, that's it. So, I've talked long enough on this episode. So, as usual, think global, drink local, and cheers.